Hedge, Tube Dwellers, welcome back to Heart of the Swarm. I'm your host, Zimad Guru, and you are looking at the profile of my secondary account with which I play exclusively Terran. You'll note that in gold I've gotten a few losses, but I think I've lost exclusively to platinums and diamonds, and mostly to diamonds. That doesn't mean that I have exclusively lost to diamonds. I think I have actually beaten a diamond, but he was playing a real weird style. Playing a wonky build, a Protoss that is. I've got a replay for you today, not a first-person video. We're going to cast from replay, though. A Terran versus Terran on Yonsu LE, and for some reason the text isn't showing up there. No Terran text, oh no. That's okay, because as you can see now, it is definitely a TVT in the top right. Wearing the red trunks. Your host, Garusian. Oh, you know what? I did the mouse wheel zoom in there, and it actually didn't work. The mouse wheel zoom doesn't work anymore. Huh. That's interesting. I was unaware of that. Anyway, in the bottom left-hand corner, the blue Terran, Lonely Marine. Now, this gentleman, as you could see by the border around his portrait in the loading screen, is a diamond player. So, the matchmaking knows that something's up. Something's not quite right. It knows that winning against gold's pretty damn often. And so it's going to fling me a diamond. Now this isn't to say that it always does, that it just outright thinks I'm a diamond. I still get mostly gold. But there are some diamonds in the mix. I think I've only played this Terran and a couple other Protosses in diamond. I've played a few platinums as well. Probably an equally low number. So it's interesting. It's interesting for me to travel through the matchmaking. Huh. That's a weird spot for a bunker, or a barracks. That barracks to me screams Reaper opening. I'm not sure why it's so far back. Interesting. We'll have to keep our eyes on that. Anyway, though, it's interesting to me to see, getting placed in gold, what the matchmaking does from there. Because almost every time I've placed, even when I've been out of play long enough for it to reset my full 5 placement matches, I've gotten right back into either platinum or diamond. And even when I got into platinum, it was probably, I don't know, maybe 20 matches and I was back into diamond, even with my off races. Zerg's a great example. My playthrough that started right as soon as Heart of the Swarm released, I got into diamond pretty quick. So it's interesting to me to see that it placed me in gold 1, and then to see that as I continuously beat golds and occasionally beat a platinum, and then mostly lose to diamonds, it's interesting that it doesn't seem to be having any kind of promotion in the works. I think I'm around 26 games total, and I know that by the 20th game before, if I wasn't in diamond, then I was really high ranked in platinum already. Now I am getting kind of high ranked in gold. I just showed it a second ago, but I actually don't recall what it was. This is a gasless, by the way, Lonely Marine, no gas, going straight for his command center. So not going to be any kind of Reaper shenanigans, regardless of the placement of the barracks. Instead, he's just going to pump out a couple Marines here and keep his supply blocks a-rolling. Or rather, keep supply blocks from rolling on in on him. Whereas, I've taken a gas. I'm also getting a factory, so you guys are probably seeing a pretty familiar look here to what you've seen me doing mostly in my Terran games. I'm really comfortable with the Banshee opening. And I'm comfortable with it because I face a lot of golds, and a lot of golds, just the Banshees do big damage. So it gets me a quick win. Getting wins in general is good, but getting quick wins is even better because I feel like prolonged games end up as a steamroll. If I'm given time to use my macro to get an advantage on them, I end up getting a huge advantage. By the time I choose the timing and move out with it, it's just a smash, and I'm left in a 20-minute game feeling like 15 minutes of it was wasted. So instead, I do a harassment build early. I do an early pressure build. I do aggression so that I can use my slightly better mechanics to work an advantage, and a lot of times a win out over them right away. Now this logic is all fine and well in gold, but I'm playing a diamond, and this logic may not be quite on point with the diamond as compared. He may not crumble to the early aggression. In fact, he may be able to deal with it while macroing better than I am. Starport flips over, Cloak starts immediately, the Banshee starts immediately. I'm sure in past iterations you've seen this a little bit rockier than what it looks right now. If you've been watching the production tab, a number of things have been pretty smooth here. A number of little kinks and little minor timings of exactly when the second gas comes out and how you saturate it. I've kind of worked around, and exactly what you try to follow up into as well. Played around with some of those things to give it a slightly different feel and make it a little bit more clean. We'll see Hero Marine taking a, or I'm sorry, Lonely Marine with his Hero Marine standing out at a watchtower, actually taking the other watchtower. Oh, and a scan, that's perfect. I'm glad I got up there and caught that. He sees everything. Not only did he see Starport with a tech lab on it, which only means one thing, he also saw the 2 barracks coming up afterwards, so he knows some kind of heavy bio, and then the tech lab on the factory, a bio tank play coming up on the back end of it. So let's see what his response is. He's already building an engineering bay. It looks like that was started before the scan even went down. So this engineering bay is going to finish with plenty of time. We actually see my Banshees just now hit the map. Cloak research is close, but not done. He has plenty of time while that Banshee travels to throw up some missile turrets. So we'll have to watch him. He's also started combat shields. He started that before any of my infantry upgrades. Combat shields is a faster upgrade than stim, so a lot of times if you start combat shield first, it means that you want to be doing something with your Marines first. And in this case, he's going to be dealing with a Banshee with his Marines. Now the Banshee has arrived, Cloak is finished. If I wanted to, I can move in at any point in time. It looks like I'm doing a couple more macro things at my base. Putting down another barracks on that tech lab, flipping the starport over. A lot of times I go 2 Banshees. This time it looks like I stopped at 1, anticipating that he may be able to defend it pretty well. And sure enough, there's 1 missile turret. Longer detection than it has range, so even if it can't shoot the Banshee, it will likely at least reveal it. Banshee's still just being chill. He's got another missile turret in his natural. There it goes. Banshee in motion. Oh! Some shots get off, but the Banshee's going to skirt around. The Marines are already moving. They've got their combat shield. That means they take 3 shots from the Banshee instead of 2. What kind of energy are we looking at? Plenty for scans. He's actually got 2 scans saved up on this natural command center. Everything in his court is looking ace for defending Banshee play. He's looking amazing at it. And another missile turret. Oh, it even turned thinking it was going to fire, but it was unable to. Let's see if this Banshee can pay for itself. If you want to do a guesstimation of the minerals, you got 100 into Cloak. We'll just call that 4 workers, even though 100 gas is not equal to 100 minerals. Then you've got 150 and 100 in the Banshee itself, so that's another 5 workers. If I got 9 workers with this Banshee, I'd be happy. Anything less than that, I might say that it didn't pay for itself. It is possible I could use Cloak later in the game to achieve some of that revenue back, but you can't count on that. It's possible that I won't have a later game. It's possible that he'll use the expenditure that I've put forth here to kill me instead by putting some money in some other place. He is ahead of me on food. He's ahead of me on worker count as well, just barely though. It's 41 to 43. He would have been a little bit further ahead than that even because of this earlier command center if it hadn't been for this Banshee, and the kill total was 6. 6 kills on the Banshee. That's an amount. That's a, you know what, it did decent damage, but I'm not sure it did enough. And instantly he's ready to move out. He's got 1 damage on his Marines. He looks like he's timing this with the medevacs and a single siege tank, also stim. Okay, so that's the timing. Stim's about to complete, and let's look at this count. 20 Marines to 40 Marines. He literally doubles me up. Now it seems that I was able to get my medevacs out first. I've got 3 of them, and I've also got more tanks. All of that is product of going gas a little bit earlier and going through my tech tree a little bit earlier. I've got a little bit more of the tech units. He's got a lot more of the meat and potatoes, the Marines. So let's see what he can get done with this. He's got a huge ball of Marines. He's got the medevacs just now coming in. It looks like as I take a 3rd command center in my main, he doesn't have any kind of plans for the same thing. In fact, he's adding more barracks. There it is. His 3rd command center's coming along as well. A little bit behind mine, actually. And our food counts are even, so let me call attention to one more time the fact that I am ranked as gold playing against an account ranked as diamond, and macro looks roughly even. That gives me good hope for my future playing Terran, although I still don't at all feel good about it. 2 medevacs, fully loaded. All Marines. Oh, the perfect anti-timing. I think I'm going to move out. Oh, and there's some pathing here. Miss micro on my part. Marines, even a tank, basically for free. Right as the 2 medevacs drop in the back, a Viking was there to receive them, but it went down without doing any damage. His Marines are going to stim off. That is a really ill-placed tank. That could get picked off in the front. He's going to try to use this double drop to snipe off my third. It looks like I've got stim completed, though, as well, and combat shield just in time. I'm going to be able to fight this off. He does get away with one medevac. Oh, away with one medevac. And I was able to keep my command center. So not big losses, and actually him losing a whole drop's worth of Marines, that got our Marine counts a lot closer. My medevacs are still in the lead. My tanks are barely in the lead, having lost that tank. Really did some big damage. I needed to not lose that. That was one of my primary advantages in this point in the game. And having a lower tank count than him is gonna hurt. I can almost assure it. Also upgrades. Oh man, he almost has 1-1 done, and he's got 2 on the way. Another engagement. Oh, it's totally haphazard. His Marines are picking off my medevacs. My siege tanks went up late. Now my Marines are in a bad position to face him. He's going to stim forward, and there's nothing I can do to stop that. I've got to get out. And his advantages are now in all courts. Every aspect of this game holds an advantage for him. The drop comes back in the back again. And as my 1-1 just begins, I realize that that's a foregone conclusion. He's gotten the right advantages over me. He has literally an advantage in every sense of the game. And I know that with the micro he's shown, my mistakes are probably going to be more plentiful than are his. And so he beats me. GG! Le score screen shows some interesting things. Most noteworthy that I spent about 30 seconds supply capped in that match. He spent about a minute and 30 seconds supply capped. My average unspent was a little bit higher than his, though. A lot of the score bits really close. Units, he was a little bit ahead of me. Towards the end there, his macro started taking off. When he was really saturated on 2 bases and moving to the third, his macro was coming together a lot more smoothly in that section of the game than was mine. The army value, though, shows that up to that point, it was neck and neck. This is me against a diamond account. Workers active show me a little bit below here in the early game. This is when his command center came up, and he had 2 command centers way before I did. But then as he slowed down and I started producing off 2 command centers, or I should say, as I killed a few SCVs and then started building off 2 command centers, I caught up with him pretty quick. This does not show nearly what it should. He had 1-1 way ahead of me, and that's this right here. I think this was, him investing in 1 armor and 2 damage. He had 1-1 without me even starting him, though. And that was nasty. So there you go. Nice little TVT. I like a lot of the indications of this match, but, of course, still getting my ass handed to me by people I might otherwise consider my equals. Thanks for watching, guys. See you later.